Excellent. Okay. Well, welcome to UW Stout, the Employer and Resident Program. We are welcoming Rich from Kwik Trip, and we're going to let Rich explain where he came from, how he came to work at Kwik Trip, and all of the goodness around that employer. If you want to take it away, Rich, go right ahead. And then I'm going to get off camera so they could, and if you wanted to put your camera on, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I believe my camera on? Do you see me?
I see you.
Oh, awesome.
I see Alex. Hi. Wonderful. Well, take it away whenever you're ready.
Thanks, Steph.
You're very welcome.
My history with Kwik Trip, and thank you for asking. It's going on 17 years now here at Kwik Trip. Prior to, I was in radio sales in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and Kwik Trip was my largest client. In radio sales, you get paid commission. So when your client pays, you get paid. I was there for 4 years. My general manager decided to take a role up in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. He asked me to go up there with him, but I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and I don't hunt, I don't fish, I don't snowmobile, I don't do any of that outdoor stuff. And Rhinelander was not a place I wanted to go, so I looked at the opportunity to possibly move up within the radio station. But through conversation with the owner, I didn't have an experience, which I understood. But during my time in radio, I always had a store leader at Kwik Trip on the south side of Sheboygan. She was always trying to recruit me to come over. She's always talking it up, always sharing information and asking me to come over. And I was doing well in radio. So I started really looking at Kwik Trip as a whole. Like I said, they paid well. I knew of them. Anytime we were running a program, they were very receptive. But I did not do my really thorough research with them and on them. What I found out was from the 40% profit sharing plan, the growth where we were averaging back in 2004, 2003, about 10 stores per year. Now we're averaging about 50 plus stores, adding to our family here at Kwik Trip. And just the culture, the way the owner is treating people the way you want to be treated, how they rewarded their team members. The more research I did on them, it was a wow factor. I did not know they were that great of a company back then, and definitely have grown since then. So I went through the interview process, very thorough, as we do. We never take any hiring decisions lightly, whether it's externally or internally. We put a lot of thought to it. And subsequently, I came aboard in the Sheboygan market as what we called back then a certified assistant store leader. And what that position was a store leader in training. Ready to take next step, as we didn't have assistants back then. So I covered the Sheboygan, Manitowoc area, had 15 stores that I would go work at. I could be at 5 stores within a week. I could be at 1 store for a couple of weeks, depending upon the needs of the store. Within my first year, they developed a management recruiter position. It was a pilot program. They felt that they needed somebody to help with recruiting leaders to come to the company. Back in 2004, early days, even when I started, the mentality was a gas station. So they really wanted somebody to go out and promote the company and find these individuals from other companies, so forth. I saw it posted, as we post all our positions internally. Never thought anything of it. I thought, I'm going to get a store near my home. I'm going to run my own location. I was happy. Midway point, after about a month or two being posted, I got a call from my zone leader, and he asked me if I saw it. I said yes. He asked to talk to me about it. Coming from the radio days, and prior to radio, I was director of operations for Boys and Girls Clubs in Sheboygan County. So I had a lot of communication experience, wasn't afraid to get out and talk to individuals. Subsequently, I went through the process, and I became our first recruiter. I started July 2nd of '04, and by November 15th, I became the first recruiter. So when we talk about promoting from within, there's always opportunities. We post those positions. We'd like to see growth. We want to give our individuals opportunities to grow in different positions they so choose to. And then I've been in this role since 2004, mostly as a management recruiter over the years. Last November, I actually took over the internship program, which was started in 2018 by one of our zone leaders in Minnesota. It was going in Minnesota mostly. Right now, we have 23 locations, 17 in Minnesota, 3 in Wisconsin, and 3 in Iowa for the internship program. But now my role is probably 60, 70% internship, 30 to 40% management. Some weeks it's more management, all depends upon the needs of my 3 territories that I have. Prior to, I had 10 districts I was recruiting for and over 130 plus stores. Couldn't do both. So they took some of it away from me, gave it to other recruiters, as we've now over 34 recruiters within the department within 14 years, which is great growth. So now I get to work with colleges, college students, and developing and growing our internship program with my supervisor and with Kwik Trip. So that's where I am at today. Definitely, I tell people I've never, since I've been in this position, Steph, I have not worked a day. I love what I do. With Kwik Trip, it's about treating people the way you want to be treated, and it's about making a difference. And I can truly say that I get to do that. So that's a little bit about my history.
Well, that's fantastic. And it's certainly evident with regards to when you walk into Kwik Trip, how everybody is trained and how, I mean, it's just a great entity to have. And I'm so glad that more of them are coming up. And when we take a trip down to Colorado and we get just to the border and we're by Iowa and we're like, oh, no more Kwik Trips. We get kind of sad and, load up on all the goodies. And then when we are driving back, that's our first stop. So I can only imagine the fun that you guys have. My question for you quickly, you were talking about the internship program, and roughly how many go through your program at a time? And can you tell a little bit more about the actual program itself?
Sure. And before I do that, I just say there is in Iowa, we're known as Quick Start. That is part of Kwik Trip. And
that's the one that we stop at. Yes.
Yep. And by 2028, we will be all the way into Lincoln, Nebraska, and we will be up through North Dakota and South Dakota as well. So we're going to be expanding out west more.
Excellent. That's excellent.
Yes.
Incredible. Alex is excited.
So as far as the program, like I mentioned, we've got 23 locations. We like to have maybe 1 or 2 interns per location. As I stated a few minutes ago, really in November, I took it over and advanced, and we had a store leader who was running the program. She decided to go back into the store, so it kind of sat a little dormant for about 4 or 5 months. So now really getting more involved, and as we added the recruiter, now doing this again more full time. The program is we have it structured. It's a 12-week program, minimum of 20 hours per week. It could be any time during the year. It's not just a summer internship or a winter internship. We've got right now some students in various parts working, going to school and doing the internship program at the same time because it works with their schedule. Unfortunately, COVID with the online classes with some colleges has given ample opportunity for them to do an internship during the college days. So as a program, we're growing. Again, part of our philosophy here, Steph, is to grow at the right pace. So right now, we're just trying to get the locations we have staffed with interns, and then slowly build it from there. Like any other programs, there's always hiccups along the way, and I've already come across a few, so we're adjusting as we go. But we want to make sure this program is beneficial for the students, that they're acquiring their leadership skills that they're seeking. It works well with the college, that we can fulfill what they need. And then obviously for Kwik Trip as well. Part of the role of the internship program is to find new leaders. We've got 2 interns, former interns. They are now assistant store leaders for us. They finished their college courses, they graduated, they went through the internship program, and now they're coming in as assistant store leaders. So that's a win-win situation. They're coming out of college, they already have a full-time job, good pay, good benefits, and they're already gone through the program, which they know they enjoy.
That was going to be my next question, as far as, the percentage of students or individuals that are working with Kwik Trip. Is there a good number that stay on for the development and the opportunities that you offer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now, Steph, having it really as new as it is, and in the process, we don't actually have total numbers, so we can't give numbers how many have been successful, how many have not. I will say we've got other college students from one in particular from UW Stout. She is going to be doing an internship in May of this year in St. Bonavicius. But she also was looking for a part-time job. She is working for us in Menominee right now as a coworker. When she gets done with her school year, she will transfer to St. Bonavicius. That's where she wanted to be. Go through the internship program, go back next college year, and she will transfer back to Menominee and still have a part-time job.
Excellent. I love the fact that you guys, the work-life balance is definitely evident there, and that's, key. And Alex is shaking his head, so hopefully he's getting some good stuff and learning more about the internship program. And we have Cole on the line too, and he works there. So, if either of you two want to jump in and ask questions or comment about your experiences, certainly do so. It's not the Rich and Steph show, for sure.
Right.
We're welcome the thoughts, and definitely welcome some conversation. So pop in anytime. I will just mute myself so there isn't any background noise in the meantime. So with regards to the internship program or your full-time staff, what, are there some key skills that you particularly look for that Kwik Trip is, your top 5 or your top 10, or what makes the Kwik Trip employee successful?
There's a number of things that we look for, Steph. But again, as we never take any hiring decisions lightly, we want to make sure Kwik Trip is a company that we give back. So humility is a very large, I should say, very important key. Being in the role as management recruiter, I've met a lot of great people over my years. I say probably have interviewed well over 4,000 people. And they've had successes, but anybody who's about me will not get into Kwik Trip, because it's about us. Our leaders, what we look for is individuals who are servant leaders. They lead by example. Being based out of La Crosse, we've got that Midwestern work ethic. Roll up your sleeves, get the job done. So we look at somebody who's willing to, go that extra mile, willing to, stay and not think it's a chore. Another core value we have is honesty, integrity. We're a very forgiving company here, but we look for people who are honest and who you can rely on. Because as you know, especially in a leadership position, there's a lot of confidential information. There's things that go on that we want people to be able to trust that leader, to work with them, to help them. Overall, just looking for people who want a career, not just a job. I say it often, because what I do on the side with motivation and life coaching, is life is too short. If you don't enjoy what you do, which a lot of people do. And I've talked to student psychologists previously, and I tell them, find something you truly enjoy doing. The money's going to be there, and the money's not going to be everything. And believe me, my past, I mean, I was making good money, was not happy. I left to go to Boys and Girls Club, took a $30,000 pay cut, but I was happiest I could ever be. So it's really finding that individual who's positive, who's outgoing, who likes to communicate. Communication is huge. Anybody who's an introvert, really, it's a challenge because we like our team members to talk to the guests. So when you or your husband comes through the door, it's like, hey, how you doing, Steph? How's it going at UW Stout? You develop relationships with them. Because everybody's important. Everybody's got a story, and that's what brings people back. It's as we were talking beforehand, is the positiveness. It's when you walk in, is everybody's happy. Well, there's a reason for that, and it's because of our culture. It starts from our owner on down. Excuse me.
Sure, and that's definitely key as well. Nothing worse than walking into a business and not being greeted and not, it doesn't have to be necessarily the down south sweetness, because that was kind of strange when I lived down there too, and I was getting called honey and sweetie in the drive-through, and I was thinking, what is happening to me? But there's a Kwik Trip stands light years apart from
Thank you.
From all the other places. And maybe I'm a little biased. I'm from La Crosse, so that is where I grew up, and it's just what I've known. So definitely you can tell with the customer service for sure, and that's great. That's key in culture these days. I mean, you just, like you said, life is too short, and if you don't enjoy where you work, or your work doesn't enjoy you, and you guys can't come together and figure out how to best both be happy and both get the job done, then it's time to move on for sure. For sure.
So if I can ask a question, Steph?
Absolutely.
Cole, I'd like to just hear from you a little bit. What you enjoy about Kwik Trip, because you've been with us since early September. What do you find to be enjoyable, and your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I love the people I work with. It makes me never want to leave the store. And then I've also just talked to a lot of people that also work for Kwik Trip. I've talked to Jake Vogel about his job and career advancement and stuff like that. And he was very nice about that. He kind of just gave me a lot of information about possible internships and stuff like that. So just having that hospitality and being so nice kind of just wants to make me stay with the company a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the thing you'll find is, again, we'll talk to you. Anybody I've talked to, whether it's a potential intern or a leadership candidate, I always share, hey, go to the store, go talk to team members, go talk to the leader, go talk to coworkers, find out your information, and people are more than willing. There's no, as I mentioned earlier, there's no egos. We want, such as Cole. Cole wants to grow with us. Jake, we're going to help him grow. Now he's got to be the right fit for the opportunities, but we're going to give him the tools. And if he's got this desire and puts forth the effort, great opportunities. And one of the nice things about us here at Kwik Trip, yes, we do have internships at our support center in La Crosse, as you know, Steph. That's where our campus is. But getting the foot in the door, there's so many other opportunities. I mean, with Kwik Trip, we have our own dairy, our own bakery, our own commissary. We have our own store auditors. We've got engineers. We've got marketing. We got so many different departments that you can just get your foot in the door. You can go any direction.
Sure, your own little village that takes care of one another. So, question about the actual training program itself. When you start to train with Kwik Trip, do you train in La Crosse, or do you train at your store? Do you start at La Crosse and go through some sort of training program and then go to the store that you've been hired at, or do you do on-site training at the store you were hired at?
Now, what position are you specifically talking about, Steph?
Just right in the front line of just managing a store or working at a store, or the internship piece?
Okay. Well, if you don't mind, we'll take each one. As for a leader, it's 11 weeks of training. Pre-COVID, during that 11 weeks, the leader would spend 4 weeks, not consecutively, but 4 separate weeks in La Crosse, Wisconsin, at our training campus. So it's a lot of in-store. You work with a store leader who's a trainer for us, certified training store leader. Not all stores have that. So we put our trainers through a program to get them prepared to train the right way, as we do with interns. Not every store is a internship store, because we do training of those leaders to make sure that they're getting out the same message. But with our leaders, they go through, and then when you're in La Crosse, you'd go through the bakery, the dairy, the commissary, you would meet the owner. You'll get really the hands-on. Since we are in COVID, they're now going through Zoom meetings with our training department. We are working hard to get these individuals back out to La Crosse, because we feel that's a very key component, to be out there to see the actual behind the scenes work. So when they're in the store, they can understand what's going on and why it's going on. Team members, coworkers, we've got a lot of computer-based trainings to go through. We just don't throw somebody up at the register. We want to set them up for success. So there's a lot of, and I remember when I went through my computer-based training as well back in the day, a lot of video, a lot of good video. You watch section, then you work on it, and then we want to match up with somebody who's been around, a veteran of ours, to help you be there with. Now, some individuals, maybe like Cole, you catch on quick. All right, we're going to let you go. We'll be here to answer questions. So, and then we do a lot of meetings as well. We're a company that's based on education and information. We always communicate everything we do, whether it's a new program, a new policy. We give that information. Each year, one of the things that we do company-wide, again, we didn't do it last year because of the circumstances, but we invite all team members to year-end meetings. And year before, we had 23. Our owner and the vice presidents go to 23 locations between Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin. We pay all our team members to go to these year-end meetings, and we share information. We share numbers, all the numbers, where we are financially, where our growth is going to be. We're just about taking care. Our greatest asset here, Steph, is our team members. You take care of your team will take care of your guests, and everything else will fall into place. With the interns, it is at the internship store. It's a 12-week program. We've got it laid out to give the intern everything they need for what our leaders do. I will say it's an intense program, but you'll be hands-on. You'll learn the coworker responsibilities. You'll learn the financial responsibilities. You get involved in the hiring process. The interns won't conduct interviews, but they'll sit in and observe. They'll be working with their store auditors. There'll be inventory, cost counts, but we train. They'll be with whether it's a store leader or assistant who's been assigned to the store as a trainer, excuse me. They will work through the program with them. We won't go through the page, say, okay, you got it out, sign it off. If they're having challenges, we'll work with them. We want to make sure they get that information. And then we have them sign off. So if it is for credit, then they can take it back to college. They can show, okay, hey, I did this. They sign off, date it, and then we sign off and date it as well. And then during it, there'll be a midterm review. And then there'll be an exit interview at the end. Should they not stay with the company? Well, let me rephrase that. There will be an exit interview even if they stay at the end of the internship. I'll do an exit interview with them. The intern and I will meet weekly via Zoom, 10 to 15 minutes. My role is to make sure that they're achieving what they want to achieve. If there's any issues, any questions they have, that's my role. We take them through DISC profile. We take them through SMART goals. I'll talk to them about their SMART goals, where they're at in the process. And then usually by week 8 or 9, we'll start talking to them as well. And I'll be ahead of time talking about possible career opportunities here at Kwik Trip. And then the last 3 to 4 weeks, usually there's a major project to take part in, whether it's ordering, whether it's merchandising, whatever their strengths are. I mean, if they're business major, it'd be focused more on the business side of things, depending upon what we need and what they want to achieve. So it's a very structured program. We do go off a little bit on it because some people catch on very quickly. So we're not going to bore the student, have them drag out where, as we talked about, they don't enjoy what they're doing. Right now, I will say, because this program is for externals and internal candidates, because a lot of times we're finding that some of our internals, they need a accredited internship, but they got to leave Kwik Trip. Well, we want to keep them. So I'm working right now with our training department to develop a more enhanced internship for our internals. Somebody like Cole, if he says, I'd like to go, he'll go through the interview process as we do with both internals and externals. They go through the same interview process, and he's accomplished a lot of things already that somebody coming from the outside would not know. So we're not going to put him through that. We're going to give him a program that's going to take his skills where he's at now and help him advance even further than he is. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's an ever evolving program because we want to make sure we're doing it right. So that's part of the extra interviews too. When I meet with the students, how do they feel? Is there something we could change? Because they're going through the program, and I take all the information and, we put it together over the course of time. If we make changes, tweaks to it, we will.
Fantastic, Rich. That's wonderful. Thank you. I was going to just compliment you. And then I did have 2 questions. One going back to, I'll go back to that because that's kind of a fun question. We'll stay on the internship piece. Are there specific positions that you're currently looking to fulfill now? And are they full-time, part-time, or do they fall into the internship program? And then if so, do you know like where those are located? Could it be during the school year, or would it have to be, let's say Alexander wants to do an internship with Kwik Trip, but it's not in Menominee, so it would be this summer. So maybe elaborate on what's available or what you're looking for.
Sure. Well, as we're growing 50 plus stores a year, we're always looking for top talent. So we've got a lot of locations: Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Actually, we got 2 in Illinois as well too now. That we're looking for coworkers. So we got a lot of students who are working part-time for us. So we got part-time, we got some full-time as well. We really work with schedules. So if a college student like Bree, young lady is with us who's going to take the internship program, she's working so many hours a week because it fits her schedule. We respect the college schedule, so we do have those part-time positions. As for interns, yes, one of the things that I look for, we've got, like I said, we got 17 in Minnesota, 3 Iowa, 3 in Wisconsin, is looking to fill those at least 1 to 2 per store. And they can happen now, as I mentioned earlier, or they can happen during the summer. I've got one from UW-Madison. She's going to St. Cloud this summer. We've got another one. He's in South Dakota State. When he comes back, he's in Eau Claire. This gentleman, UW Eau Claire, he's going to be in Middleton. That's where he lives. So if the student is heading back home and we got an opportunity in that area, we will wait till the summertime to put them in that area, put them in. I've got right now 5 individuals who'll be coming in on board, I should say, this summer. So I will stay in contact with them. They've already gone through my interview, initial phone interview, the behavioral-based interview, the references, and then they've met with the store leader who runs the internship program. They've accepted them as well, and I offer them the position. So right now we got 5 of them waiting to come on this summer. I'll stay in contact with them between now and then. I'm just not going to leave them out waiting not to hear from me or hear from Kwik Trip, because I think it's very important we keep those lines of communication open, make sure that they don't lose interest. It's important to us because as they've gone through the process, we're happy to have them, and we really want them to come aboard as an intern.
Excellent. Now, Rich, did you say that you had 17 in Minnesota and then 3 in Wisconsin and 3 in Iowa, and those are just the internship stores? Can you
Correct.
tell me what makes a store suitable for an internship store, and why so many in Minnesota versus the other 2 states?
Great question. The store leaders who are chosen, obviously we have our district leader who oversees anywhere from 15 to 19 locations, and a zone leader above them, which has usually 6 to 7 districts underneath them. So it is their recommendation. We go to the district leader and the zone leader and say, hey, we'd like to have the internship program in your area. Who do you recommend? Some people are great teachers. Some people are great communicators. They know their talent. So we look for them to supply us with who they believe would be the good teachers for college students who will take the program and make sure it's successful. The reason why 17 is a zone leader who started a program in 2018. He was from Minnesota, and he saw a need in the area. Specifically, he started really in Mankato because he knew the relationship with Minnesota State University in Mankato. So that's where it started. So that's why it was Minnesota predominantly. When I joined, we had 20 locations. We added 3 to Iowa market. What we look for stuff is areas where some of our stores are more challenged to find leaders. Because again, people are applying, people are not applying. We want to set those areas up with leaders who say, we've got somebody who, lives in St. Bonavicius. So after college, she's got the internship, she's ready, and she wants to go back home. There's a position, could be a position for her there. So we're filling a need for ourselves as well. But that's why it started in Minnesota.
Thank you for that, Rich. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, so when we are traveling down to Colorado, we stop at the last Kwik Trip, and as you said, it's not called Kwik Trip. What is the reasoning behind that? And then the stores that you said are going to be opening, moving even further that direction, are they going to be Kwik Stars or Kwik Trips? And again, why the name change or difference?
Sure. Well, when we got into Iowa, there was a Kwik Trip with a Q there first. So we had to differentiate our name. So we went to Kwik Star. So Kwik Trip with a Q was in Iowa. We came in after they were there. So Kwik Trip to Kwik Trips, we changed our name to Kwik Star.
Got it. Here, I was thinking it was going to be something super intense and detailed, and that was pretty simple. Now, is the original Kwik Trip that was in Iowa still there, or is it gone?
No, they're still there. Yep,
they're still there. Okay.
Yep, they're still there. They're another large convenience store chain.
Okay, so in Iowa, you'll be known as Kwik Star. Getting out of Iowa, when you're going to go to Nebraska, will you be then Kwik Trip again, or not sure? Secret?
Actually, it's not a secret, but I'm not sure. Depending upon what's out there, probably I would say without Kwik Trips, if there's not a Kwik Trip with a Q there first, we will probably go back to. Well, I say this 2 ways. Could be Kwik Trips, But then again, too, as we took over this past beginning this December, which is our new fiscal 2021 year, we acquired a Stop and Goes
Sure.
in southern Wisconsin and in Illinois. We kept their name Stop and Go because that was something that people recognized in those areas. So they will sell, they're still part of the Kwik Trip family. They'll sell all our products. They'll have the same, I mean, they'll be Kwik Trip all the way through, but we'll keep the name Stop and Go because it was recognized, the
Sure.
branding.
Yep. Makes sense.
And as we go to those other states, again, it's definitely not up to me. But if you've got a relationship that people won't know what Kwik Trips are, but they may know what Stop and Go is out there.
Sure. Makes sense. Alex, are you looking for an internship? What's your major?
Hi. My major's I am looking for an internship. My major is supply chain management with a minor in computer science. I don't have any questions at the time. I'm still
okay. No worries. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in, and I'm usually sitting in back listening too. So I just wanted to make sure that you didn't have any questions that I wasn't allowing you to ask. Before you jumped on, Alex, can I call you Alex? I'm sorry, I'm shortening everybody's name. We were talking about our favorite product that comes from Kwik Trip. Do you have a favorite? Because we'll share ours too.
I was a huge fan when fried chicken came out, and I think it would probably be the chicken tenders, or has to be my favorite.
We were just talking about those. My husband went, are they the 3 strips? They come in like a big strip? Yes, because I said, I'm not a chicken on the bone. I'm not like a fried chicken person. He handed me one, and I thought that was the most delicious thing I'd ever tasted in quite a long time. And it didn't need any ranch or anything to add additional flavor to it. It was really, really good. And I know Cole had mentioned what his favorites were, but Katie, do you have any favorites? Can I call on you? Rich, do you have any other favorites?
I'll tell you stuff. Sometimes I had a hard time going in when I go in there because it's like, okay, what do I want today? And it's like,
sure.
The pothole pizzas are great. The other pizzas are great. Sandwiches, I'll tell you what, here, I'll put it to you this way. When I became a recruiter, I drove. I was our only recruiter, so I drove Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. So whenever I stopped, I did a lot of my interviews at stores. I will tell you, I put on probably about 20 pounds.
Oh,
I was always eating because there's always something, the soups. And I tell you, I really don't have a favorite. It's just what the taste buds are for that day.
Everything is so good. And so everything is made in La Crosse and then it's shipped to wherever it needs to go to, correct?
To the stores, yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's just Kwik Trip is definitely a gold mine. I mean, you have to, like the training, the business, the supply chain. I mean, building the stores, you could recruit the construction majors from here, the food science, you want to get some different food ideas, maybe some dietetics, and that way we won't have diabetes. There's so many different opportunities from one place that is employing so many people and putting so many smiles on everybody and having such a great place to work at. So I definitely enjoyed hearing more, even though I'm already a fan fave. And definitely appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today. I'm certainly gonna open it up again to Alex or Cole if anyone has anything to ask or say.
Hi.
Go ahead.
I have a question. So with everything being made at that La Crosse location, and with kind of the westward expansion, are you guys looking to build a second one of those farther west, if that's your direction you want to build in?
Great question. I should say the only thing we don't cook in La Crosse is our chicken. We cook that in each store. No, we will maintain 7-day delivery. Everything will be based at La Crosse. Before we grow, we make the additions we need to in La Crosse to support our stores. Great question, Alex. But what we do is like with Duluth, Minnesota, we will have tag team drivers. So a driver will drive halfway, another driver will pick it up and deliver it and drop off the empty truck, and the truck driver will bring the empty truck back to La Crosse. So we will plan on doing the same thing out as we expand out west, but we will maintain that 7-day delivery.
That was one of my questions too. So great job, Alex. Because I thought, everything is so fresh and tasty and delicious. Granted, I know some of the things are made right there. And what's really sweet is, so I have a daughter who doesn't like cheese. I have no idea where she came from, but she does not like cheese. But she does like the chicken sandwiches, and they have cheese on them. They will make one for her, not a problem, without cheese. And have no issues with doing so. So it's just the customer service is just top notch. The other thing I was going to ask, so remind me again, how many years have you been with Kwik Trip?
It's going to be going on July 2nd will be 17 years.
17. Okay, I thought you had said 17. So this may or may not, trigger your memory, because I don't know when it stopped, but my mom, so in La Crosse, and I don't know where, if this was at any of the other locations, but on Losey Boulevard in La Crosse, they used to have like an actual sit-down dining area. And they would cook burgers and French fries and kind of that, fast food type thing, but just made to fresh and made to order. But the seating, that went away. Was that kind of a trial and error? Didn't do well? Was that just in a couple stores? And do you know what I'm even asking about?
Yes, they were
Okay.
Hardy Platter restaurants.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I think we only have 2 left.
Okay.
We just found it was not beneficial for us to do those.
Sure. I know they were a hit with like the high school where Central was located, and that was a good lunch area for kids. And so that was one of the questions someone asked me. Ask them about the diner that used to be there. So I said I would ask. And I almost forgot.
We do have one of the things that were added some time ago, and it was a recommendation due to I believe the same question you have, Steph, is we do have that bar over by the windows. Usually we have chairs there, but since COVID, we had to remove the chairs. That was an idea that one of our guests had asked the same thing. It's like, well, why not? Because some people, like to get their morning sandwich, get a cup of coffee, lunch, sit there and eat it.
So I have a great idea. Okay. It's not my idea, so I can't take credit for it. But the store in Menominee by campus, they're expanding. They're adding on, and I don't know if they're going to do anything for maybe like outdoor seating. And with COVID, it's kind of nice to have a picnic table or some sort of something to, have a coffee or your sandwich or whatever. But in Vail Village, Eagle Village of Colorado, they are repurposing, Alex, do you know what I'm talking about? They're repurposing gondolas. So you could sit in there for the cold temperatures and not be out in the elements and enjoy your outdoor dining. So that was really neat article to read. So if Kwik Trip is ahead of the game, I'm sure that they could come up with something pretty amazing to have the replacement of the counter, but actually don't leave, eat your sandwich, and then come back in to get dessert. Wonderful. Well, I love it.
Bring that up.
Again, not my idea, but it was cool. It made me want to go buy a gondola and stick it out in my yard or something. I don't know. Like the igloos that you're dining in.
Well, if you see them sometime down the road stuff, just think, okay, you know what? I brought that up in conversation.
Wonderful. Perfect. I'll have a good fuzzy warm feeling. Super. Well, this has been very informative, and I know that we could sit and talk for so much longer than the time that we have allotted. We can always do this again. We could always have some side conversations. There's other ways to connect with the students and the faculty on campus. So, Rich, you and I will not be strangers, and we will keep our contact lines open as well, because you have a great product, have a great place for people to grow and learn and not have it be just a job, but a career, like you had said. So I don't foresee us, going away anytime soon with our relationship. And if I can help facilitate any of that relationship with Stout, you just let me know. If I can't make that happen, I will talk with my supervisor, Katie, or Brian, the director of career services, and get them involved as well. So it's been a pleasure meeting you face to face via a screen. Hope to see you on campus one of these days when we can have face to face people on campus for career conference, or employer in residence, or whatever, having a chat in classrooms. But I will ensure that this video and the information gets sent out to the faculty after as well, and let them know where they can find it, find you, and then go from there. Any last parting words from Cole or Alex?
I was just wondering about like any supply chain internships you have in lacrosse, because I know Jake, who's like a buyer, didn't know of any in his department, but I was just wondering if there were like any other opportunities at all, possibly.
I would definitely take a look at the website, Cole, to look at those. Is this Cole or Alex?
This was
Cole.
Cole.
Cole. Oh, sorry. Cole. Yeah, definitely look. I'm not. We do have a lot of internships at the support center in La Crosse. I am definitely more on the retail side of things. So could look internally on the website to see what there is. Jordan Butler is our internship coordinator at the support center. So if you would need her number, you can definitely find her on the QuickNet. But if you want to reach out to me, I can get you her number as well, and she can. You can talk to her on that role.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you, Cole. Appreciate it. And I'll look and see what's on CareerLink again for positions, and then I'm happy to reach out to whomever is posting those on your website, and see if we can't get some of them onto our database as well, because that's where the students know to look for employment. And
Sure.
if you're populating our CareerLink database, that's just more brand recognition for you guys. So, and UW Stout has top-notch programs all around, so you could fulfill every department for the most part. So we have ConAgra Foods here in Menominee, so they make pudding and hot chocolate here in Menominee. And the funny thing is corporate doesn't like to recruit from Stout. They think that they need to recruit the engineering from Madison, and the funny thing is the offices that are occupied by the engineers and the directors are from Stout. So it's pretty funny. I think we're also a hidden gem that people just haven't quite tapped in fully. So good relationship. And I appreciate the time that you have taken, Rich, to speak with us and chat with me about getting this together and organized. And I look forward to more conversations with you.
Definitely, Steph. I thank you for your time. I had a great conversation with Katie and Brian earlier. As I was saying, when I first became a recruiter, the second college I reached out to was UW Stout.
Excellent.
Because of your great programs.
Excellent.
A lot of great individuals there, a lot of opportunities, a lot of students. I was kind of disappointed when as we grew, my territory shrunk and I lost that territory. Because I love doing the career fairs out there and so forth. But I know top talent has come out of Stout. Definitely looking to recruit for interns into these positions, because I know being where you're at, you get students from Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, and as the program grows, a lot of opportunities for a lot of different areas. So I just thank you for the time today, and I really do look forward to keep developing a relationship, be a partner with UW Stout, and just grow and help your students out as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you to say. So, well, with that, I will say goodbye. Have a good afternoon, and we will talk soon.
Sounds great.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining, you guys.
Thank you, guys.